May the Most High Creator of all bless us. Alright, time is precious. So spend it with the ones that you love and you care about. Alright, as much as you can. The time we have in this body is so short. And to be even more truthful, the time each individual has is consistently being taken by our self-appointed rulers of our world and their economic system. A system in which no matter how technologically advanced humanity has become, no matter the scientific, political, and medical breakthroughs, the world and its current course to its future is getting worse. In this world where money is the main purpose to life, we are programmed to think if one does not have it, he or she is broken or broke. And according to economic society, the way to be fixed is not by any doctor or medicine, but by generating currency. Therefore, the belief that money can fix his or her life issues and problems are held at the same standards and principles as the religious person who believes in their God in which they pray to for help. As former President George Bush Jr. said, money trumps freedom. He's blatantly true. In this world of capitalism, yes, money does in fact trumps freedom. Only if I play the game as a slave to their financial arena and laws and rules and indoctrinate will I win. At an early age, being taught to follow instructions instead of learning how to be thinkers. In order to live, man and woman must give up their individualism. Their divine right to exist must be for the sake and profit for their system and its overseers, turning us into programmed slaves. We now have been transformed into worshippers of money and wealth. Be honest. Most people would pray for money or to win the lotto or material success or raise or their job, etc. You know what I mean? Instead of better health, instead of praying for their loved ones or even giving thanks and praise for being alive the next day. Money has become the god of this world. And the more you have, it seems like it has a negative effect on your character because it differs from the natural principles of morality. Whether you like it or not, the more wealth you have, the more selfish you must become due to the nature of the beast. Whether you deem it good or bad in your own way. Alright? You would not profit in this world doing charity. You must sell product and hoard money as much as you can. And we've been programmed to have cute little names for it by our masters, like savings, investments, credit, shares, income, stocks and bonds, etc. All tools, all different names for a system that destroys the very essence of man's true nature and purpose amongst each other, to keep us enslaved with the promise of financial asylum after 30 or 40 year plus of labor and many hardships, only to retire with mounted medical bills and lost sense of time spent, or just to finally buy that building or boat you always wanted. Again, you will generate the same type of problems and issues you received on others. Again, it will be selfish. Again, the world as a whole is getting worse and worse. Here in Chicago, the way our youth is killing each other, I'm shocked we're not extinct. Wars, revolutions, natural disasters, and man-made disasters, viruses of all manners of corruption, poisons fill our skies and waters, government injustices, police brutality, people are being suppressed. But all you wanted is enough money to provide for you and your family, to have that quote-unquote good life. that quote unquote comfortable life. Do you know the Federal Reserve Bank system is not federal at all? They just call it that. And they are not the American federal government either, and was planned on Jekyll Island to create the system to enslave the population, me and you, forever, as well as our children and your children's children too. What would you do? The same shit everybody told you. You better go to work and get some money, homie. Now, instead of actually living, our hearts and brain connection, the light in a way begins to sever. We are now only thinking solely in survival mode, where the brain continuously is in a state of unrest, worry, and fear of not paying bills, running out of money to buy and pay for things. These bills and these material things, cars, phones, rent, mortgage, entertainment, etc., transportation. If you have a job and you pay rent or mortgage and you pay bills, you are so intensely absorbed by the fact that you need money so much you become dependent on these jobs where they pay you for your time, and your time is so important. It's the most important thing in this world. That is the secret. The secret is that your time is the most valuable thing on earth because it represents your physical presence, your physical presence and energy in motion, and also measures your physical and mental value, aka your input, output, receiver, and giver of negative and positive energy. If I know this truly, and I know that you don't know this, or have knowledge of self, or your surroundings and energies, I can make you give up your divine rights as a born human being and make you believe money equals freedom. Do you hear what I'm saying? If you don't know thyself and the true principles as an input, output, receiver, giver of energies, and you don't know that your time is the most valuable thing on this earth, then I can make you believe that money equals freedom. You can always spend money and get it again and again, but you spend time that you can never get back. Remember when Morpheus held up the battery and said the ultimate goal was to turn us into this? When Neo went into the Matrix, where in what place was he? Think. The city, corporate America. The Matrix was the financial system. The corporate buildings, the busy, loud streets of people rushing to work, back and from, the authorities, the agents, corporate bosses, the homeless people, the trains, the rich and powerful, the fancy restaurants filled with upper class people, the merchants on the street. This was a message long time for us to see what we have become, but we are in bed with the system. Because we are in bed with the system. The guy that betrayed Neo, he wanted to forget about the truth and go back to sleep in the Matrix. That is you. That is you and I, okay? That is you and I. Okay. He represents us, the masses, the ones who don't believe in the Most High and the divine powers of the universe or even self. But remember, the most important part was and is the fact that once back in the Matrix, while you're in the Matrix, you do not see for yourself, move for yourself in your directions, in your energies, nor do you even think for yourself. You are on autopilot, meaning your brain is on cruise control, guided by financial worship, the system. This is why they distract you with entertainment, politics, material gains. Once you realize you spend more time working for money than actually living life, people will start to revolt, get depression, crimes and violence. People at work aren't fully in bed with the matrix. They start getting depressed, annoyed, and bored with the mundane life. And this is when your brain starts to work better if you know what you're capable of, okay? And you're not fully in bed with the matrix. You remember, just like Neo was a part of the matrix, but he always felt like something was wrong. He was bored. He didn't want to go to the clubs. He didn't want to go nowhere. He just worked and he went home. He was struggling. Something was missing. All right? This is a good thing, because when that happens, when you get bored, your mundane side of your brain, the side that thinks on logic, just pure logic and mechanical works, that side starts to give in to the side that's creative, spiritual, artistic. This, and it both start to work together. Okay? This is when both sides of the brain start to synchronize, no longer flowing in a chaotic pattern like regular people. Both hemispheres start to literally restructure and flow in an organized pattern wave. And this is how you take the red pill. You awaken physically and psychologically and physical strength and freedom. You will become, as they said in the movie, the one, reconnecting the heart and the brain, the light and the way, the secret path, which the agents watch for, just like how they watch the ones in reality, because they get too close to the truth. Remember, they kept an eye on Neo, the one, because it was prophesied that there would be one. Alright? Neo flipped around is the one, alright? That would bring the system down and free the slaves. Free the slaves, waking them up psychologically and physically. Remember, before Neo woke up, he was already the one. He just had to believe it. Once he overcame the fear of the system and what the system can do, and he started believing in himself, once he went within, he became the Superman of the Matrix. All right? You can do this. Because the deep part about this story is real life. Okay? This is honestly the truth. You remember there was a part in the Matrix that was so powerful, what he said. He said, "What do you mean? What are you telling me? I can dodge bullets?" "No, Neo. I'm telling you, when the time comes, you won't have to." So pay attention to this, man. This is a deep part of what I'm telling you. The so-called democracy.
What is democracy?
Well, that's never very clear on itself. Like every other kind of government, it's got something to do with young men killing each other, I believe.
Why don't old men kill each other?
Well, the old men are needed to keep the home fires burning.
Couldn't the young men do that just as well?
Young men don't have homes. That's why they must go out and kill each other.
When it comes my turn, will you want me to go?
For democracy, any man would give his only begotten son.